I'm still watching the live telecast. Yeah, I'll let you watch it. Here he is. Here's the gunman. Whoop. There he is. Look. He's got the shaved head up to his... I don't know what else you call it. I call it a circumcised haircut. Shaved up the size. And here in his knob of his head. His mate already just got his gun taken off him. 3 dead in Bondi Beach shooting. There you go. One gunman's dead. The other one's been... right, there's a guy there. He's holding... He's got the gun off the gunman. There's the gunman running or walking backwards. He's got the gun off the gunman. He's signaling to the cameraman. I'm putting it to the police. He's putting it down. And this guy here goes to walk away. He's a gunman. And this guy throws a bottle at him because he's a mongrel. And then here's his mate still at the bridge now shooting at the guy who got the gun off him. Now, I'm not being racist, but he looks bloody Lebanese to me. Let's have a... I'm holding this up in hand. I've got it.
Was just pandemonium, very scary. And then I circled back around Cullenwell Street, and then everyone started running. Did you see the shooter? No.
If you're just joining us, they are some of the chilling scenes that have played out at Bondi Beach early this evening, just after 6:30. People there fleeing the scene after multiple shots fired out. We can tell you that at least 10 people, possibly more people, have been shot, at least 3 dead. We're going to cross now to our reporter Annalise Bolt, who joins us from RPA Hospital, and a hospital where more people have been rushed to this evening. Annalise.
Yeah, Georgie, extraordinary scenes here at Royal Prince Alfred Hospital. This is one of Sydney's major trauma hospitals. We've just had an ambulance arrive here under police escort. It came speeding down the road under lights and sirens, and there is a patient now that is being taken out of the back of that ambulance. They've set up a triage at the gates of the hospital here, and they've been bringing patients in and making sure that they get the care that they need. We've actually seen 5 ambulances arrive here now with sirens blaring. We've also seen at least one car, just a normal car that's raced into the car park here, just normal people that are driving their loved ones to hospital to get them the care that they need. Staff met them at the door. They brought out a wheelchair. That man was conscious and he's wheeled inside. We can see another patient that's been wheeled through the doors of emergency here at Royal Prince Alfred Hospital.
Now, Royal Prince Alfred is Camperdown, which is about 10 kilometres away from Bondi Beach. So it's the first hospital closest is St Vincent's Hospital, and then they have to go through the city to the other side, then they get out to Royal Prince Alfred, which is on Missenden Road, Camperdown.
Major trauma hospitals. This scene will be the same at other hospitals around Sydney. We have 10 confirmed people that have been shot, but just as we've been standing here, just in the past half an hour, we have seen at least 5 patients that have been brought here just to this one hospital. So we can expect that number of injured to rise. It's just not confirmed at this stage. We have also seen quite a few people arriving at the hospital that are quite distressed. They're rushing through the doors. They're concerned about their loved ones. They've been told that they've been brought here after those extraordinary scenes in Bondi this evening, Georgie.
Extraordinary scenes indeed, Annalise. Thank you very much for that update. We're going to go back now to Bondi Beach, and reporter Damien Ryan joins us. Damien, there is a bit of conjecture in terms of how many shooters have been involved in this horrific incident. We were led to believe that there were two, and one, in fact, has been shot dead by police. The other is in custody. There might be suggestion now, in fact, that there were three gunmen. Have you got any update on that at all?
Good evening to you, Georgie. I'm just going to pick up for Damo. He actually doesn't have an earpiece in, so he can't hear your question. But Damo, Georgie on the line, she's just asked about those people who've deceased. We know that there's two people included, and then the third potentially the shooter. What have you heard from what you saw?
Well, I've spoken to someone who witnessed the shooting and how it ended. He said a policewoman shot dead. One of the men. There was another man that was shot dead, not shot. But fatally wounded. They tried to work on him. There was no good. And then a third person basically surrendered. Locals jumped on him and tried to
Three shooters.
give him a hiding, but police stepped in and threw him in the back of a paddy wagon. But enough said about those three people. What we did see down there, on a beautiful Sunday night, Bondi Beach, incredible.
You were there quite early.
He's a local news reporter.
Little children wounded, blood all over them. There was a man that I spoke to who had blood all over his head. He saw and heard the gunman. He heard the gunman first, then saw the gunman. He took cover. There was about 300 people there at the Hanukkah festival. A Hanukkah festival for children. And in his situation, he was.
Right now, make it said it was a Hanukkah festival for the children on Bondi Beach, Hanukkah, which is Jewish. But also, it's one day after the 20-year anniversary of the Cronulla riots between the Lebanese and the white Caucasians at Cronulla Beach, 20 years ago yesterday. So this obviously is symbolic.
Driving ambulances away because they needed the paramedics on the ground to deal with all the casualties. And they were rushing to hospital. Then I saw, as I said, I saw children. I saw an elderly woman. They obviously they worked on her. It was no good, and they covered her face, knowing that she was not going to make it. It was insane.
You've been doing this job for more than 30 years now. Not only in Sydney but all around the world. I guess in your time and in your experience, have you ever seen anything like this?
Yeah, I have seen many things like this, but not when it's in my backyard. So, yeah, it was tough, but much tougher for all these people. And they all ask why.
He's a famous news reporter. He's travelled all around the world. He's been on Channel 9 for 30 years. He's done war zones and everything. And now even he is shocked. And he was there on the beach.
The paramedics were run off their feet. An incredible sign. A symbol that you'll see later of the photographs of the wounded being carried out on surfboards because there weren't enough stretchers. And, that sort of sums it all up, doesn't it? The most famous beach in the world, and you've got this bloody mayhem. So it was tough. And now the good news is that the three people have been accounted for. We've got one still alive that can explain himself, hopefully. And then you've got a community, not just a Jewish community. You've got all over Australia, I'm sure, feeling for what's happened here today.
And as I mentioned to the viewers and to you a little bit earlier, it's not over yet. It's still an ongoing situation. They're not out of the danger zone yet, and it's already been several hours.
No, we don't know. There's talk of a device left at the scene, because if anyone knows North Bondi, you've got these walk bridges, which go over the car park, and that's where the three gunmen were. There was like a shooting gallery, just taking aim, semi-automatic, and that's why people have said to me, Damien, there was 100 shots fired. And you can imagine, in firing 100 shots into a large group of people, you're going to pick people off, and that's what they did. It was extraordinary. This will this will take a long time, you know. This time of the year, how many years ago was the Link Cafe? It was around this time of the year, and Sydney was in mourning for what went on in the heart of the city. Now we're on one of our most famous
He's
beaches,
talking about the
and a tragedy
Lind
really played out
Chocolate
here.
Cafe.
You got here
The
pretty
gun
quickly,
seizure
Deb,
there
seeing
in
so
Sydney
much of it
just before
firsthand.
Christmas as
Firsthand,
well.
how quickly did
A
you
couple
get
of years
here?
ago,
I
it
was
took
here
us
probably
ages to get
about
over it.
15 minutes. I think the shooting started around 6:45. I was here by probably 7:10. And so by that time it was over, thank God. But there was still a lot of panic. People were still running because people didn't know, you know, how many gunmen are there? You're like, how many gunmen? I said, I don't know. And I said to the police, how many gunmen? They said, we don't know, Dave. And so once they worked it out that they had the 3 people involved, they were dealt with. So now we're going to go through this. This is going to be a crime scene for probably 3 days, 4 days. We're getting so close to Christmas. Yes, so close to Christmas. And you're going to be burying people. You're going to have people in hospital. Yeah, it's wicked.
And yeah, exactly right. You're obviously local from the eastern suburbs. Take us through the community here, how tight knit it is, and how much this is going to affect and shake this community.
Oh, the Jewish community, you know, have had a wicked time ever. They've not. It's not been fun times for them, and it is a very close community. I mean, the Jewish community and the locals, even the local surfer community, they all cross-pollinate. We're all together, and this is, I think that the Jewish community have always feared something like this. In fact, I must remember there was one man that I spoke to, and I'm sure you'll see his interview tonight. He's the man he's got blood on his head, and he's got a bandage swathed around his head, and he's the one with the wife and the 2 kids. He was in Israel and survived October 7th. He was there, and said he came here recently to sort of help the Jewish community in Australia, and wow, and now he's been caught up in this.
Damien Ryan, I'm sure many viewers know, 9 News senior reporter who got here quite early, Georgie, as he's mentioned, and he's seen so much of this and spoken to so many people who were affected by it. Now, we are expecting an update from police within the next 5 minutes or so, potentially on the number of casualties, the number of people injured, as well as an update on that ongoing operation that we've mentioned, and we'll bring those details to you, Georgie, as they come.
Celia Ali, we greatly appreciate it, and it's very clear to see that Damien Ryan is deeply affected by this, as are so many people. I want to bring in Alison Petrowski, who joins me now on the desk. I mean, Ali, as we look at that vision of what has unfolded on Bondi Beach, Sydney, Australia, it is just hard to reconcile, isn't it? It is just not a scene that we are familiar with on home territory.
Georgie, I'm a former US correspondent. Unfortunately, I've been to a lot of mass shootings around the world, many in America. I never thought that we would see a scene like this playing out, not only in Australia, but on Australia's most iconic beach. The images that we're seeing on our screens will play not just throughout tonight and the next few days, that this will echo right through our society, and we'll be watching these images for decades. Georgie, it is quite extraordinary as we try and wrap our heads around it. These are videos taken by eyewitnesses at the scene. And I think we should say, Georgie, to our audience, many people are turning on the TV to get information. It is important that you stay with us, that you don't go looking on social media. I warned my family as I left the house, because what happens in these mass shooting events is awful images are posted. I cannot state strongly enough, Georgie, how important it is to keep your children away from social media. And, thank goodness we have a social media ban that kicked in this week, but there are some horrific images doing the rounds on social media, and also some extraordinary images, as you said, Georgie, that bystander who has tackled one of what we now believe is 3 gunmen that we're seeing on our screens right now.
This is the vision now, and my goodness, if that doesn't deserve hero status, I don't know what does. But it is still, I mean, we've watched it several times now, and it is still just so confronting and compelling, dare I say, to witness. That man has just appeared from nowhere. As we can see, he's wrestled the gun from the gunman and managed to keep him at bay. Another local chimes in and throws missiles at this man, as you're about to see there. I mean, that is, dare I say, heroic. given what was playing out just metres away there on that bridge with the second gunman opening fire. It is just extraordinary.
And you never know how you're going to react in a situation like this if you're a bystander. The locals, well, we believe there may be locals standing there who, you hit fight or flight mode. They've hit fight mode and they've gone straight to that gun, that man, and fired at him. Another local springing up into action as well. They are remarkable human beings, and to see that they are still at this point in time coming under fire, it is difficult to comprehend what would have been running through their heads. But they are heroes. They are incredibly brave, and we should be incredibly thankful that we have Australians like that willing to intervene and help other Aussies when they're in dire need.
If you're just joining us, you are seeing vision of a shooting that has taken place on Bondi Beach early this evening. It all played out just after 6:30. As you can understand, on a warm, balmy evening, the beach was lined with hundreds, if not thousands, of people. Campbell Parade, obviously a renowned spot for restaurants, for dining out. We're in a festive time of the year. So suffice to say, people everywhere, and we're hearing that dozens and dozens of rounds of shots fired out. A lot of people initially thinking it was fireworks, understandably, and then those scenes there of absolute panic, people fleeing the beach to safety, just running anywhere they could to find some form of protection. Sheer terror, not knowing quite what was happening. Suffice to say, Ali, we are sitting here watching this vision still in a state of shock ourselves. So
We are absolutely. And look, we don't know what was at play exactly, but we do know that there was a Jewish event on at the Bondi Park Playground this afternoon, Chanukah by the Sea. By no means are we saying that this is some sort of targeted attack. We simply do not know that at all, but that is one of probably many events that were playing out on Bondi Beach. It is really, Georgie, isn't it the start of school holidays? Some students are already on holidays, many go on holidays this week. Plenty of Sydney-siders just enjoying our most iconic beach, taking in what would have been, you would normally imagine, a beautiful sunset at Bondi, getting through the rest of the weekend, and to have this unfold in our backyard is simply extraordinary.
16 people in hospital.
Many tourists who were on Bondi Beach understandably have been left absolutely shocked by these events, some taking cover in restaurants and in cafes, and our reporter Zach Bailey has just spoken to some of them. Here's what some of them had to say.
Maria, I'll start with you. You were here when the incident transpired. Can you just explain exactly what you saw?
Yeah, like we were celebrating her birthday. We got her like a ticket for the Sunset Cinema, so we just walked over the bridge. It happened that thing. We were like sitting for 2 minutes and then like started shooting. Like we thought it was a firework, but at some point all the people started screaming and we heard the first police car, so we took all of our stuff, just like hide around the corner, like so we know where it comes from, what it is, and like I thought it would be stupid to just like stop running right away. It's like, I don't know, never know if they are behind you or not. And then at some point the family with babies come out and like I asked them what's happening and they were like screaming, they're here, they're in the pavilion, I don't know, like run, and like we took off our shoes and just like started running up the street. Like, I don't know, we have not like eaten dinner yet, so we were really weak, but you had to run like at this point, so I don't know, never felt that before. Yeah, like I thought we were gonna like maybe stay there and die. I don't know. Like it was really, really scary. Like yeah, I think my body just said like run. I don't know.
But that must be so scary when you said that you thought you would die.
Yeah, it was like I've never felt that before. You always like know it from the news. We're from Germany, so last Christmas there was like something similar like at the Christmas market. So you just thought like okay, it will happen in the news, but you would never be there. But now we were like I can't imagine, like I can't describe how it feels. Like I talked to like friends at home and my mom, and she was like, "Oh, that's scary and what the fuck happened?" But I don't know, you can't really describe the feeling. Yeah.
You don't compare anything like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you all ran together up the street here towards the southern end of the beach, but you were lost.
Yeah.
Along the way, can you just describe what happened there?
I was just running up the street and searched for them, and then I saw that I can't see them anymore, and it was a total panic. I just ran and ran and ran. I don't even know where I went, and then I tried to find
I think she's German or Swedish or something.
And I just saw that they were in any street like on the right, and I Italian restaurant, and I thought they would be in there, so I just ran to the restaurant. They have locked the door, and then they opened the door again and let me in. And I don't know, I just had a crazy panic attack, and so I tried to talk to the people there and tried to find them, but they weren't in the restaurant. And then in the restaurant, I don't know what happened. I was sitting like on a chair, and everyone started screaming. They all were just like, go on the ground, hide, they're gonna shoot us. You have to lay down on the ground. And I just ran into, I think, in a cooling room from the restaurant. And then I tried to hit there with a lot of other people being so scared. It was terrible, but luckily we're safe.
Lucky you are safe. And yourself, when you're running on the street and you lose your friend along the way, what's going through your mind when you're sitting there about to go to the cinema?
No, it's not on. It is not on a delay. It's live television.
Your friends as well, all the people around you, but you have to think about yourself first. I mean, I was looking behind me for my friends. I saw Polina, but then at one point we had to run because we thought the people were coming towards in our direction. So you have to think about you and your family at this point. I mean, we all thought it's gonna be the end now. We just heard so many guns going off. Yeah, it was still going on for a couple of minutes. When we were running, it was still shooting.
So the gunshots.
Yeah, it was pretty long. Even when we were at the flat of this couple, we still had the shooting. So it was a really long time. It felt like hours.
And when you were down there, obviously it all happened so quickly, but do you see what was happening behind you? Did you see people get shot?
No, I don't know, it was a panic mode, so we just looked at our phones, what's going on, and then we started running. Yeah, no, we didn't look behind us. Yeah, it was just run.
And obviously you're not from here, you're from Germany, but Bondi, it's iconic. Sydney is one of Australia's best beaches. To witness that here, how does that sit with you guys being tourists here? We're just enjoying it.
Yeah, it was I don't know, not what you expected. I don't know, just never in my mind that it could happen here right now. You know that there are some areas of Sydney where it's maybe not that safe, but because this is the populous place, you don't have that in your mind. For sure it happens here where a lot of people are, but yeah.
I actually have to say that my first opinion about Australia was that I feel so much more safe than in Germany, and I felt so much better the last month and felt safe the whole time, and I definitely didn't imagine happening something like that.
I live on the northern beaches, so a little bit far away from here, and we're not all.
How diverse the community is down there, our families as well as elders.
From a semi-automatic rifle and a shotgun. Initially, as I reported, I was told by a witness that he thought there were 3 gunmen. Police are now telling us that it's actually 2. One is dead and another is in custody. There are images of him being put in the back of a paddy wagon. As for the casualties, I'm not surprised of that death toll because thank God they did not trigger. If it was a device, it didn't trigger it. But they will take extra precautions here. That's why we're well back. We're about 300 metres from the scene at the moment, and I suspect it's going to be like this for quite some time.
Now with
Irons.
Here's the shooter. I'm about to show you the shooter's face.
At Bondi.
Now, would you call him Lebanese or what would you call him? The shaved head, like around the ears. He's in custody. He has been caught.
Sydney.
And then you got this poor bastard here. He got shot in the head.
Everyone's got to help, everyone's got to hug, everyone's got to embrace. This is it was a bloodbath, it was an absolute massacre. Tell me what happened. I was here with my family, it was a Hanukkah celebration, there were hundreds of people, there were children, there were elderly, families enjoying themselves, children, kids, at a festival, playing.
Crazy,
and
yeah.
then all of a sudden it's absolute chaos, there's guns, fire everywhere, people ducking. It was absolute chaos. We didn't know what was happening, where the gunfire was coming from. I saw blood gushing in front of me.
They're repeating a lot of the same images.
All early this evening, and she in fact has spoken to the man who was one of the first to film video of the shooting. Here's a little bit of what he has had to say.
Me, I am very shocked. I am in Australia since just 2 days, and it's my first time in the beach. Me, I go in the beach and I look two men gun. Me, I don't start because I am crazy. Me, I go look. I look before one car.
This is his camera footage.
One man, issue, fight everything. It's amazing. It's the first time I look.
Darren Carsberg.
In my life.
How are you, mate?
How scared were you?
Sorry.
How scared were you?
I'm scared. I look.
It's only Bondi, mate. It's not all over Australia. It's just Bondi. I'd say Muslims, mate. Out of guess, be Muslims. The way they're dressed, their haircuts.
One mother. There is one.
Pregnant?
Yes, pregnant.
Oh, he just said Muslim.
No gun, just in head. I look one mother. Me, I roll up the mother. I say go. I pay for you one bottle water. It's no one problem.
That's right, mate. They should kick him out.
I say this.
Send them all back to their country. They come over here with a gun attitude, because that's how they fix problems in their home countries. All those countries that go around
I think you'd see something like this in Sydney.
thinking about, that they're in their country, they go around with AK-47s. They shouldn't let those country people in here.
Yes, I am surprised.
Absolutely agree with you.
For me, I go in Australia. Me, I play football in Western Sydney FC. Look in Liga and League One. I play football today. The first time I want to go to beach and I look this. I am shocked.
Poor guy, he's travelled all the way around the world. They come here to go to Bondi Beach, and the first day he gets here, there's a bloody shooting.
In Bondi Beach, it's not possible. Two men, he say two sniper and every no. There is just 1 second of security, And me, no problem. I come back in Australia in Bondi Beach.
Anyway,
every the beach.
Yeah, just one of so many tourists who have witnessed this mass shooting this afternoon at Sydney's iconic Bondi Beach. I mean, possibly, arguably, the world's most famous beach is Bondi. We're going to cross back now to our reporter, Damien Ryan, who was at the scene of the shooting within about 15, 20 minutes of it all unfolding. And Damo, you mentioned earlier, fortuitously, Bondi Police Station...
Everybody in Australia knows this guy. He's been on the news for 30 years.
Where this all unfolded, and I understand the response from emergency services was extremely swift.
Yeah, it was pretty swift. But the wish is, I wish they got there quicker. No doubt there was, we've been told now, we've confirmed that this these two gunmen were firing for 9 minutes and into
9 minutes.
into the Hanukkah festival. There's a playground next door, and they were shooting there for 9 minutes. It took police about 4 minutes to actually rally and get there. There was police there within maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but they needed backup. But I'm also being told by a witness that one of the first victims of this tragedy was a gentleman who charged at the gunman on the bridge, and he challenged the gunman, and the gunman turned and shot him dead. And that's basically how it all began. And then they then opened fire on the many people that were in the festival. So there was a gentleman who challenged this officer, who challenged this man, the two gunmen, and then but he was shot dead. I know that the police who were on the ground who ended this terrible situation, they fired their guns from the playground about 30 metres from where the gunmen were. So they did extremely well to combat the situation and bring it to an end. There was 2 or 3 police officers. There was a police who was deeply distressed, obviously, after what had happened. But we do know that that was the situation. And I also been told by a police officer, the weapon was not a semi-automatic rifle. It was, they believe, a Remington 870, which is obviously lethal and can fire quickly, but it wasn't a semi-automatic rifle. So it's a licensed firearm. People are allowed to have that sort of firearm if you've got a license. But that will now obviously be a major part of this investigation. Where did it come from? Where did they get it from? And what was this all about?
Damo, it's Ali. One thing you said earlier in one of your earlier crosses really struck me. You mentioned that you believe that children may have been injured, potentially even killed in this attack. I mean, you just mentioned there that shots were fired from a playground. Can you give us any sort of clarity, any sort of understanding? Do you believe that kids could be affected in this?
Oh, definitely. I can definitely tell you there was one child that was being cared for by paramedics, and there was blood on her face, and she was being looked after by paramedics. So there is no doubt, because there were so many children in the group, that there will be no doubt that children have perished in this tragedy. There was up to 300 people. The number's been tossed around a bit, but and then I saw that child being treated by paramedics. And then I saw a number of elderly people, a number of middle-aged people, as I said, being worked on and being looked after and being treated. And I saw many people just walking around with bandages who'd survived the attack. But yeah, no doubt, there is no doubt there were children there. And there were children playing in that playground as well who were not a part of the festival. So who knows whether they got caught up in it, but that's where the police officers who brought an end to this
That's him arresting the shooter.
Tragedy. That's where they fired their guns from, looking up at the gunmen who were looking down and shooting anyone and anyone they could, basically.
This is just still so incredibly difficult to compute, to fathom, that this has all unfolded at Sydney's Bondi Beach late this afternoon with families, tourists, just so many people enjoying a summer evening, and for this to have all unfolded. Let's just take a moment to recap on what we know so far. As Damo said, this is still an unfolding situation. It's still a critical situation down there at the beach. But what we can tell you at this point is that this afternoon's events are now being referred to as a massacre. 10 people are confirmed dead after 2 gunmen opened fire on Bondi Beach. It all unfolded at about 6:40 this evening. At least 12 other people are in hospital. We imagine that number, in fact, is far greater, given that 4 hospitals are dealing with people with gunshot injuries. We know one of the gunmen is among those killed. The second is one of those being treated in hospital. We understand his condition is critical. We can tell you that 2 police officers are among the victims. However, it is not clear as to what condition they are in. We can also tell you that police have reportedly found a bomb, a pipe bomb, in a vehicle at the scene. There was suggestion also of potential bomb planted on that footbridge, the footbridge where we have seen a gunman shooting from. A short time ago, we got word in that police had also begun raiding one of the shooters' homes, and we can tell you that that home is in Bonnyrigg, in Sydney's western suburbs. This is an unfolding situation.
Yeah.
Sorry, Damo.
You got that?
Oh, okay.
And we are trying to get pictures from this raid that is unfolding at the moment in Bonnyrigg, Georgie. Our newsroom is chasing that. Hopefully we'll be able to get that to our viewers very, very soon. I've just been popping online, and this is making headline news around the world, unfortunately, Georgie. CNN, New York Times, NBC.
Yeah, and we will, of course, hear from police. Police are set to hold a press conference in about 4 minutes, hopefully, from now, where we hopefully can obtain more facts, more information. In the meantime, I want to cross to Kate Creedon, who's standing by at the marshalling area of Bondi. Kate, from where you are, what can you tell us?
Well, Georgie, is still very much, as you said, an active crime scene here at the moment. If you take a look down Campbell Parade, it literally looks like a car park with those red and blue lights. Police are lining all of Campbell Parade. We've seen the heavily armed tactical police here on the scene go through, and of course there is 2 of the police helicopters still circling in the sky as we go.
Now, the government's house is now being raided this very moment on this live. And he's at Bonnyrigg, which is where a house was shot up last night in Bonnyrigg, and it's in the Liverpool area, and all that area is known for shootings up people's houses from getaway cars, and then they burn the getaway cars. Bonnyrigg, Bonnyrigg, Bonnyrigg. So, yeah, you can see there was a pipe bomb found in a car, which they never got to use, luckily. There was only 2 shooters. One shooter is dead. The other one is in custody, and his house at Bonnyrigg is being raided right now. And in a minute, they're going to switch over to the police command in Sydney, and this is going to go on for days. So this is film footage of people ducking for cover in the cafes because they can all hear the shots. But 10 people dead, 10 confirmed dead.
It's a strong, tight-knit community. They're really suffering tonight. This is heartbreaking. This is absolutely devastating. And many of the people that I've been speaking to are telling me that they are angry as well, that this is a place that they thought was safe. They've come to Bondi Beach to celebrate Hanukkah. They were in the playground, many of them, and to be targeted in this way, they're angry. And people, I guess, in disbelief that this could happen here. Of course, a number of those people, as I said, are still waiting for news, and people coming down here. The crowd when we arrived, a lot of people were on the beach at the time, and certainly feeling very, very concerned. And they're the people that are coming down here tonight. They're speaking to us. They're telling us what they've been experiencing and what they're feeling, and that fear and worry for their loved ones, for those in the community here tonight. And of course, Bondi
Anyway,
Beach on a
I'm going to
Sunday
finish it up now. So
beautiful
40
Sunday
minutes.
It was as well. It was absolutely packed with people.
You can see it on.
Tourists that I've spoken to as well. People that now we can't.
Yeah, well, they can babble on all night. You can watch it on SBS Australia or ABC Australia News, or the networks of 7, 9 and 10 on Australian News. You can get the app off your app and have a look at it. The Sydney News, Channel 9, Channel 10, Channel 7, Channel 2, which is ABC, or SBS. So I'm going to finish up there now. Some of them just dropped in. Yeah, that's the live footage from Bondi Beach.
Disbelief, but also anger starting to ripple through with people
So there's 10 dead. Anyway, that's it from me, Hominoid, on this very sad occasion. It's also one day after the 20-year anniversary of the Cronulla riots, where the same sorts of people with those sort of haircuts and attitude had the big riot, and they tried attacking the white Caucasians down at Cronulla Beach 20 years ago. So all the white surfies and all the rest chased the Muslim blokes, and two innocent Muslim blokes were cornered on a train, and a policeman stepped in 20 years ago and saved them with his baton. There's a story on him on A Current Affair last night in Sydney, Australia, Channel 9, A Current Affair, yesterday's program, how he is still traumatised 20 years after. Here you're now seeing the gunman, and he's got the other gunman up there with him. And what's this guy here got to say?
So I was actually listening to the news and I heard bang, 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 bang. And I actually, at the farm, I shoot guns myself and licensed firearm, hold myself. So instantly he was going, like it was live fire. So I ran out to the street. Like,
If you can't understand him, he's a country Aussie.
and a few people, I had about 10 people running from my apartment. And it just continued, boom, 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 boom. And
Boom, boom, boom.
yeah, we kind of bumped it up in as far away from the streets as we could. And then,
What's he got on his hat?
kind of checked on
Aussie flag with a skull. They should give him the microphone.
We cast the sirens, didn't kind of come for a minute. So, yeah, but it's definitely, the adrenaline definitely kicked in a lot. Yeah.
So you said people that you'd sheltered inside your house. Take us through that time and those moments.
I was on the couch listening to the news and Channel 9 obviously, and I knew instantly it was going to job. I ran around the street, I had to make goodbye.
The silly news reporter's not putting the microphone near him, and the wind's overdoing him.
They ran through, they were, a mixture of Spanish people. It was a the kitchen, we kind of locked the place down and then kind of just got on the phone to kind of look over the panic.
Right, what he's saying he lives next door to the beach, and he got people to run into his house for cover, and he let the civilians come into his house he didn't know to get away from the gunshots. And he's a country guy living at Bondi Beach.
I felt about that and I was like, no, it was definitely, gunfire. And then we actually had a guy sitting in a car outside the apartment and calling his eyes out. And I was like, that guy saw something. There was a gun. So, yeah, when I saw the guy crying and the guy consoling him in the car parked,
He seen a guy crying outside his house.
I was like, no, 100%. So,
I'm trying to hear what he's saying, but the wind's over the microphone.
And now that you know what's happened, on your doorstep, one of the most famous beaches in the world, what's going through your mind? Did you think this could ever happen here?
The way the world is at the moment, you never figure, you never think it would happen in real life. But, the world we live in these days, you can't rule anything out. But yeah, it's just as soon as those gunshots went off, you kind of went into a bit of a dream. It wasn't happening, Adrenaline kicks in, but it's kind of like you're still telling yourself this isn't happening. But whoever has seen footage on Channel 9, that guy casting one of the shooters, and that guy, he deserves a bravery.
Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. See you later. Have a good night. What a whole night for Sydney. Prayers go out for the families. 10 people dead. One, I think, is the shooter. 9 innocent people. And I believe 1 child. Oh, it's 35 degrees Celsius here in Sydney today.
Yeah, a strong southerly wind has blown in now and making for quite trying conditions with our reporters down there at Bondi Beach. We're going to go now to our reporter, James Wilson, who is at Royal North Shore Hospital at St Leonard's. James, what can you tell us in terms of what you've seen with casualties being rushed there to the North Shore of Sydney?
Well, Georgie, ambulances still very much going back and forward from here. Even as we go to air right now, in the last 10 minutes, 2 ambulances arriving. I have some fresh numbers into the newsroom. 25 patients confirmed, and I'll read out the breakdown as to where they've gone. We have 7 who have gone to St Vincent's, 4 have gone to St George, we've got 3 have gone to RPA, 2 to the Sydney Children's Hospital, 2 to the Royal North Shore, 1 to Westmead, 2 to Liverpool, 2 to the Prince of Wales, 1 to Sutherland, and 1 to Liverpool. So you can just imagine this is hospitals from all over Sydney now pitching in to help 25 patients. You'd have to imagine that all of them suffering from gunshot wounds, and of course, concerningly, 2 to the Children's Hospital as well. And as I mentioned, still as we go to where right now, people being triaged and treated, ambulances and ambulance inspectors, as well as police escorts arriving where we are at Royal North Shore. And those hospitals, we're talking about at least 10 hospitals, if not more, carrying the brunt, the weight of what's happened down at Bondi as far out as Liverpool. So that number again, Georgie and Ali, 25 patients, 2 of those at the Sydney Children's Hospital, 7 St Vincent's, 4 St George, and 3 at RPA, and then 2 where I am right now at the Royal North Shore, as well as others in Westmead and Liverpool, and hospitals surrounding Sydney. A massive operation happening right now. And I have been...
Westmead and Liverpool hospitals, Liverpool is about 35 kilometres away, and Westmead is about 40 kilometres away on the motorway. So it'll probably take them an hour to get there. So it's a long way to go. So Westmead from Bondi Beach, you can Google that. Liverpool Hospital from Bondi Beach. The one down to Sutherland Hospital, which is at Caringbah, and a couple out to North Shore Beach at St Leonard's Hospital, the RPA at Missenden Road, Camperdown, and there's 24 people injured. Anyway, that's 10 people shot dead, confirmed. 10 confirmed dead at Bondi Beach shooting. 1 gunman dead, 1 gunman in custody. His house is being raided at Bonnyrigg, west of Sydney, out near Liverpool, near the Liverpool Hospital. That's how far they come in. And apparently they are Middle Eastern. So the shooter was Middle Eastern. So what's that got to say? Oh, no, don't need to say anything. We don't need them in this country. Kick them out. Kick them all out. Sorry, if you're from the Middle East, you know, these guys aren't helping you. It must be in their blood or something up there where they come from. You know, they must go around over there in the home countries just shooting people, and they think they can come over here and do it over here. What their reason is, we don't know yet. Whatever. You can think I'm being a bastard, but mate, I'm white Caucasian. I was born and raised here, and my whole family come over here in the First Fleet from Isle of Man in England. So, you know, I've got no time for these guys. Hello, Rebecca. Mass shooting. You know about the mass shooting, do you, Rebecca? Yeah. People have gone to Westmead Hospital, Liverpool Hospital, all the way from Bondi Beach. Anyway, I'm going to finish up. Good night, people. It's on the news if you're in Sydney. Just watch it. But I agree with you. Thank you, Rebecca. Good night.